Today we're going to be making a cheer bow. So I made a shirt for a customer. Her niece drew up this picture of a unicorn, and this is the shirt. So it looks very similar to the actual design that the girl drew. So I kind of just copied her design and tried to make it look as similar as hers did, and honestly it looks very similar. So I am going to use this to make a corresponding bow. So this is a cheer bow that I made for myself. My daughter and I go to Disney a lot. I just have to finish it. I have to put the finishing ribbon. So you could use 3/8 or 5/8. It just depends on the bow that I'm doing. So I just have to finish it. So this is basically what we're going to be making today. So you are going to need heat transfer vinyl, 30-inch ribbon. So this is 3-inch ribbon. I believe I bought this on Amazon, but you can get it at almost any craft store. You definitely need 3-inch ribbon because it makes the bow bigger. Heat transfer vinyl, 30-inch, 3-inch ribbon, a corresponding ribbon to cover up your... you can tack this down with two different ways. You can use a zip tie, or you can use like thick hand stitch thread. So you'll need your corresponding ribbon for finishing off. You can also use an alligator clip, or you can use a hair tie. I prefer the alligator clip because I just like the way it looks better. And then these are going to go on either side of the bow, kind of like this. So first thing you're going to want to do is obviously cut your ribbon 30 inches. The next thing you're going to want to do is cut two 15-inch strips of 3-inch HTV. So I'm using my quilting ruler, but you guys can use anything you want to. You can hand measure it with a ruler. You can use a quilting. You can, honestly, whatever works best for you. This is just the way that I found that it works best for me. Also a rotary cutter. It will change your life. So we are going to line that up like this. Line that up like that. And when you're using a quilting ruler, you want to make sure that you definitely press, because the HTV can slide. So you want to make sure that you hold your quilting ruler with your non-dominant hand, and make sure you are cutting away from you and you don't have your hand like this. These, I know you can't see it, but right here I was cutting and I went boop, and I cut all the way down to the bone. So believe me, it happens. So you just have to always use safety measures. And then right before I cut, I pull down the safety guard. Okay, so that's one 3-inch strip. We're going to do another one. I have a huge vinyl scrap collection. I always save it because you'll never know, like especially if you're doing a small monogram or something tiny, you can always use the scraps. See, it moved because I am not. Do as I say, not as I do. So see if we can lob off that bottom part. And then we're going to measure 15 inches, which so since I messed up this bottom part, I'm just going to continue. I'm going to start with pressing this, and then I'll press this, and then I'll figure out what needs to be cut, because I definitely messed up here, friends. So I'm going to, let's measure that. So And actually, this part can just be cut off because I ended up cutting it right, which is wonderful. I just did what I told you guys not to do. All right, enough of me talking to myself. I am going to get to pressing. So I just to be safe, I always do this just for safety. Okay? Okay. So, heat press is heated up. I'm going to start at one side. And I am going to start with the one that I cut perfectly. You just want to line it up right on your actual, just right on the ribbon. If you have heat tape, you can tape it across so you know it's going to press right. But I'm not going to do that because I've made enough of these to where I know what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. And then we're just going to line up this other one. Normally I would do the seam in the back, like in the back of the bow where you wouldn't be able to see it. But with this one, I don't want to waste the vinyl. So no one will be able to see it. I mean, I'll be able to see it, but no one else will be able to. Okay. And then before I do that, I'm actually going to trim the vinyl. Sorry. All right. The seams too would be a really good place to put your heat tape. If you don't have any heat tape and you work a lot with heat transfer vinyl, that's something I would really recommend getting, is some heat tape. All right. So, it's hot. Oof, it's hot. So you're gonna peel off your the transfer tape from the heat transfer vinyl. All right, so now we're gonna remove our transfer tape. And then you can see right here, here's the seam, but you won't be able to see it when I'm making the bow. And then you can see there's a little bit of excess. You just want to go ahead and trim that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back with you guys. All right, so I went ahead and trimmed it. I actually like when bows have a little bit of imperfections on them because it just means that you can tell that it's handmade and it's not made in a factory. So to actually form your bow, you're going to make like a ribbon, like an awareness ribbon. I don't know how else to say that. You're going to put your back down like this, cross, cross. You see how it's an awareness ribbon? I guess, I mean, I don't know how else to describe that. And then you're going to kind of push your tails out a little bit. Now remember, cheer bows are supposed to be fluffy. They're supposed to be super bowy. Oh man, my terminology is solid. So you're going to pick it up from here. You can do it a couple different ways. So I do this in my hand, like I just know how to make one. And then you're going to see how long you want your tails, whatever. So you have your X, and then your flat part in the back, you're going to line up the bottom of your flat part with the bottom of your bow. Do you see how I did that? And then this way you can work the bow around. I promise you it takes time, but you can do it. I know you can. So, and then you're going to start an accordion. You're going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I'm going to start where the X is, and I'm going to pinch it. But before I actually set this bow, I made these 2 hearts to match that shirt in the beginning. So I'm actually going to I'm going to heat press the hearts on either side of the tails. All right, so I'll be right back with you guys for that. All right, I heat press the hearts. There we have it. So now I'm going to go back to forming my bow. You're going to start it with flat, fold it over, fold it over. Then you're going to take the X, bring it to the bottom of your bow. You're going to pinch, pinch, pinch. Okay. So now you can do one of 2 things here. You can hand stitch it and sew it to where it is, like how I secured this one. This one is secured. I used hand sewing thread, so it's a little bit of a thicker dimensions, but I am going to use a zip tie. So, my zip tie fell. So I'm going to redo this bow one more time just because I don't really like the way that it looks. Generally, the first time you do it, it's like the perfect bow. And then every time you mess with it afterwards, it's like, just kidding. Okay. So that's exactly what I want there. So I'm going to take my zip tie. I'm going to pinch it. And I'm not going to tighten it all the way down because now I can readjust my bow how I like it. So now I'm gonna tighten it down, okay? Boom! Now I'm gonna clip this back part off. Now for finishing this bow off, I am actually going to tie a knot with this because I like the way that it looks when it's tied like that. So I'm going to tie it, but I'm going to keep the pattern side up. Okay? Now, all of this takes practice. I don't want you guys to get discouraged if it doesn't work on the first try. I'll try to answer any questions that I can about this, but I want you guys to be confident, and really the best way to learn is just to practice, and you guys, I know you can do it. So, once I glue it, I obviously have to trim the tails as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to do, I don't know how if I'm going to diagonal it or if I'm going to do the split tail like this. I think I'll probably do diagonal just because it looks a little bit more fun. All right, I'll be back in a minute with the finished bow. All right, here is our finished bow. I actually ended up trimming the sides because I thought it looked a little bit weird because the ribbon is pink and the ribbon is red and the HTV is pink. But I actually really like the way that it turned out. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you guys. And like and subscribe. Thank you.